Hello humans, I'm Yoshiller and welcome to a recap vlog type video. Today I shall be discussing the events that occurred at the Nintendo Lounge, which is located at the side of San Diego Comic-Con. The Nintendo Lounge was completely free, you didn't need a Comic-Con pass, and I attended it on Thursday and Friday, which would be July 9th and July 10th of 2015. Now you may recall that I attended this event last year. Last year, Nintendo held a Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS tournament in order to promote the upcoming Super Smash Bros. Game. Well, this year they had an Amiibo tournament to promote Amiibo and to promote Smash Bros. And just to all around have a fun time. So I was mainly going there for that, which took place on Friday. But before I even get to Friday, I have to discuss Thursday. So all sorts of fun stuff happened at this Comic-Con place. They had Mario Maker there, they had Yoshi's Woolly World there, they had Splatoon there, they had Chibi Robo there, they had all sorts of amazing stuff, very, very fun stuff. And I played a majority of those games at E3, or in the case of Splatoon, I already have the game, so I was just playing games, trying to essentially stall until Friday because my schedule was a bit wonky. While I was there on Thursday, I met up with one of the competitors in the Nintendo World Championships. He was wearing his flashy gold Nintendo World Championship shirt. I met him when I was competing at Torrance, California. This guy obviously was the winner of that event, and I met him, but I didn't take a picture with him there. But thankfully he remembered me, and I remembered him, so we took a picture together at Comic-Con, and it was really cool to see him again. And then, just a couple minutes after seeing him, I saw Kit and Krista from Nintendo Minute. Again, I've been seeing them at all sorts of Nintendo events, and I have to document pretty much everything that I do, so I took a picture with them. Also, you might notice that in these pictures, I'm wearing a plastic capsule. Now, it might be hard to see, but inside that plastic capsule, I actually have a Lucario Amiibo. That is the Amiibo that I wished to enter inside of this Super Smash Bros. Amiibo tournament. I'll get into why I entered Lucario in just a moment, and I'll get into all of that technical stuff, but this capsule of mine seemed to be a pretty cool idea. A lot of people were asking me about it, and the main reason I was wearing it was because I needed a way to carry around an Amiibo for Thursday and Friday, while I always knew where it was, and I didn't want people to take it, because people will take these things. So, I had that. I wore this little plastic capsule, I put my Amiibo in it, and it was just the right size. It was cool. I had a hard time finding this jar capsule thing, but it worked out. And then I took a variety of other pictures at the event. I took a picture in front of the tournament schedule. I took a picture in front of the 30th anniversary exhibit. I took some pictures with Luigi. They had a talking Mario and a talking Luigi exhibit where Charles Martinet would one-on-one talk with you as Mario and Luigi inside of this container. And you could take pictures, and I actually recorded a little bit of my experience, so you can see the footage for that right here. Enjoy! Thank you.
Okay. Hi there.
Hi Luigi, how are you doing?
You look like you're Yoshi. Hello, Yoshi.
My name is actually Yoshiller.
Yoshi played just earlier today. It's a very nice game. Congratulations.
Oh, I played it earlier too. It's awesome. You
it's
excited?
Really good, huh? Did you go like this? You go whoopee, ho ho.
Oh, I'm not very good at it. I keep dying.
Well, I know it's not very easy, but then when you're very good at it, it's like being at a Luigi game. You can be very proud of yourself.
Do you mind if I take a couple selfies with you?
Oh, that would be great. What's your name?
My name is Yoshiller. Yoshiller, like Yoshi, and then L-L-E-R.
It's really good. You mind if I call you Yoshi for short?
You may call me whatever you would like.
Oh, that's good, Yoshiller. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna pose. Ready?
All right. Here, hang on. Let me get this real quickly. All right.
Okay. How do I look? Do I look okay?
You look awesome, dude. All right, I'm gonna hand this to the man.
Ready?
Okay, I'm gonna hand this to the man outside, and he's gonna take a picture. Okay?
Oh, okay. You want me to just? I'll be like, did you want me to do a jump like that? I could do a jump like that, and you can jump like that.
Whatever works, dude. Thank you very much. I also met a ton of Splatoon cosplayers. It was quite common to dress up as Splatoon characters there, and all sorts of people made these really awesome Splatoon costumes. So I took a picture with pretty much all of them. They first approached me because they liked my Lucario Amiibo setup, and I liked their costume, so we took a picture together. And they were really, really cool. And eventually, the Nintendo Lounge had to close, so we all had to skedaddle, and I needed a little something to do until the evening because of the way my schedule lined up and my improper planning. Hopefully next year I'll have a better situation. But for now, let's talk about the positives. So, as I was wandering around the convention center, I heard familiar Pokemon music. And of course, I remembered that the Pokemon Symphony was in town. I had seen the Pokemon Symphony during its opening show in Washington, D.C., and I have a separate blog for that if anyone's interested. But yeah, I spontaneously went to go see the Pokemon Symphony, and just like the other times I watched it, it was a very enjoyable event. I had a nice seat, the people around me were nice, and all in all, I had an enjoyable experience. And then I tweeted out a picture onto Twitter, and Jaron Moore, the producer of the Pokemon Symphony, wanted to speak with me afterward. So I spoke with him afterward, and I took a picture, and he was awesome. So Jaron Moore, for whatever reason you're watching this, great job, dude! Pokemon Symphony is always awesome. I'm glad I got to watch it again. It was cool. And then I more or less got dinner, grabbed snacks, yada yada yada. Eventually, it's 3 in the morning, and I'm already waiting in line for the Amiibo tournament because of the way my schedule lined up. Again, poor planning, I'll admit it. Next year, I'll plan this out better. It was just the way certain things lined up. Anyway, I'm waiting in line for the Amiibo tournament, and I'm technically first in line. Thankfully, other people in line had brought their new Nintendo 3DSs so we could actually scan our Amiibo into the game and then train them. So that proved to be nice training practice, and I recorded a little bit of footage of that, but that's nothing too major. And then eventually we did have to sign up, and as is become a bit of a tradition, I like to record whenever I have to sign a waiver. Now, Nintendo didn't really live stream this tournament until the very end, but I did get to sign a media release form, and I made sure to record the process of that happening, so here's footage of that. Enjoy! I was the first person in line. But I mean, if you want to be first, that's fine. I figured I should actually submit mine first.
Okay. My address has a unit number, and that's going to slow me down.
So does mine. Trying to remember how to do my signature. I'm super tired. And you can't forget the smiley face, right?
Nice.
Well, alright, today is the 9th, right? I hope so. I'll blur this out, don't worry. Or somehow this won't be shown. Okay, future, just leave it. It's good. Sorry, thank you. I got it though, no worries.
So you had a video of the Nintendo 64 DD.
I did.
And they had Banjo-Kazooie stamps?
Yes, they did. Because Banjo-Kazooie was Rare property, and Rare property was Nintendo property. Yeah, I had Banjo-Kazooie stamps, you were right.
How was your experience with the Nintendo 64 DD?
I love my Nintendo 64 DD, dude. I don't use it a whole lot though, because it's a pain to hook up and record it. In my pain, I mean, I just have to pull out some cables, and I don't feel like doing that. Because I don't ever really have a need to play it.
So I'll take yours first.
Okay. Oh, I was supposed to be number 1. No.
It's all randomized.
Okay. I was just because I was first person in line. I got here at 3 in the morning, and now I'm second. I did actually.
Switch places.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
He's number 65. So
oh, that's amazing, actually. Let's do it. Thank you so much. I am ready to be the one. Okay. Once again, thank you very much.
Sorry.
And you have Lucario.
I've got Lucario. Do you need his name? Don't worry, it is your own promise.
Better.
Yes. It is. It's Cairo. It's Greek for dog. I thought it was.
Alright, your number's on there.
Does it matter which arm?
Nope, does not matter which arm.
No. Let's do my more dominant one so I can always see it. There we go.
You can just go off over.
There you go.
I have done it. Ow, okay. I am number 1. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to be completely honest. At this point, I wasn't feeling too well. I was tired because I hadn't gotten much sleep and I'd been waiting there for several hours, and I already wasn't feeling too well. I had a runny nose and my throat was sore, and I don't know, maybe I caught the convention plague, so if anyone was around me and got sick, I'm sorry. I was, I wasn't feeling well. So if people came up and said hi to me and I seemed, tired, that's why. So I apologize. But I did meet all sorts of people, and there were all sorts of different people with these different Amiibo. The only 2 Amiibo that I don't recall seeing that were out at this time were Diddy Kong and, technically, Dark Pit. I did not see Dark Pit, but I did see the other ones, and I'll talk about that in a little bit once I get into more detail about the tournament itself. Now, as they're putting the brackets together, I gotta be honest, because I'm so tired, I'm secretly hoping that I lose, because I figured if I lose, I can go home sooner and I can just lie down. But at the same time, I don't want to just lose because I spent all this time getting there and I spent all this time waiting in line. I would like to make sure that I gave it my all. And so I figured whether I win or lose, that's perfectly fine. And I mean, that's generally how it is. But I figured if I was going to lose, I just wanted to lose already. And for better or for worse, with the way that the tournament bracket was set up, I was always put at the end of each round. It was an actual tournament bracket where the players were randomized. And I figured out that once I was put at the end of a bracket, I would forever be at the end of a bracket. So I used that to my advantage. I would go and charge my phone between rounds, and I would try to watch as much of the tournament as possible. But I don't really have cell phone service inside the Nintendo Lounge. That drained my battery, so I had to go run out and charge stuff all the time. But okay, so before I actually discuss how the tournament went, let me discuss my Amiibo. So the Amiibo that I entered was Lucario. I call him Cairo. I have separate videos on my channel in which I actually talked about this Amiibo. I had a hard time deciding which Amiibo I wanted to enter, but ultimately I decided that the best one for a team scenario in which I'd be teaming up with this Amiibo would be Lucario. So I had a pretty interesting strategy. The main stat that I had on this Lucario Amiibo was the stat that allowed him to recover more easily. I believe the ability is called Smooth Landing. What this will allow Lucario to do is it will allow him to recover without any delay whatsoever. So the second he hits the ground, he can get back into battle. Lucario is pretty infamous for having a relatively slow recovery where he'll hit the ground and then he takes a couple seconds to get up, so I figured this would definitely help him. Additionally, Lucario is a character who gets stronger the higher his percentage goes, and I gave him an ability that would lower his percentage. So this ability confused a lot of people because they thought it was backwards. Yeah, it is backwards, but that's why I used it. A lot of Amiibo players, at least in my view, play under the assumption that their Amiibo is going to win by brute force, or that their Amiibo just won't get hit. I played under the assumption that my Amiibo would get hit, but he would not die. So I emphasized on recovery rather than power. And my stats were pretty much, I tried to make them well-rounded with an emphasis on recovery. And then my third ability just made it so that when he was grabbing onto ledges, he'd have an easier time grabbing on. So he could recover more easily, he would get hit, he would hit hard, and then his percentage would go down. That was my strategy. And it proved to be very interesting, let's say that. So I was one of 2 people to enter a Lucario Amiibo, and this was a 128 player tournament. So they had 8 stations set up where 2 people would play at a time, so 16 people could play at a time, but there's 128 people. So there were 8 sections split into the first round. I was in the 7th section, and I was informed that I would be up against a Zero Suit Samus Amiibo. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the tournament. So the tournament had a bit of quirky rules. You could enter any Amiibo you wanted, you could use any equipment that you wanted, any custom moves that you wanted, yada yada yada, all that good stuff. But items were enabled, they were set to low, but they were enabled. Team attack was disabled, 3 stock, 5 minutes, and every round took place on a specific stage. So every match in round 1 had to take place on Town and City, every match in round 2 had to take place on Pokemon Stadium 2, so on and so forth. So for the first round, I was going up against a person who had a Zero Suit Samus Amiibo, and if I'm not mistaken, he was the only person to have one there. Obviously it was imported, and obviously this guy did his research about Amiibo. Zero Suit Samus is a skillful character, so I was a bit concerned. I decided to play as Little Mac, tag teaming with my Lucario, and he decided to play as Little Mac. In fact, the reason I picked Little Mac was because he picked Little Mac, because I figured if I was going to lose, at least I should make it interesting, right? So we got to Town and City, I had one of my friends record it. Now the quality is not perfect, but hopefully the footage you're seeing on screen right now is sufficient. And ultimately, I won with a miraculous KO punch. That put me into round 2 in the top 64. In the second round, I was forced to play on Pokemon Stadium 2, and my opponent also had a Pokemon Amiibo. He had a Pikachu Amiibo, and I had a Lucario Amiibo, so I thought that this would be fun. The character I played as was Yoshi, and he played as Bowser. So we battled and battled on Pokemon Stadium 2, and ultimately, I was the victor. That put me into round 3 and into the top 32. In round 3, I was forced to play on Battlefield, and I played against a guy using a Bowser Amiibo. Knowing that he was going to enter a Bowser Amiibo, I decided to play as Little Mac. I figured if I was going to lose, I was going to lose. Ultimately, I proved to be the victor. Though I'd be lying if I didn't say my Lucario Amiibo didn't save me on countless occasions. It really was thanks to my Lucario Amiibo that I really won this match. He was on a roll during this tournament. Okay, from the 4th round onward, this is the top 16. And they decided to display all matches onto a big TV screen. And they used the separate, smaller game stations to allow people to publicly play the game. So from here, the tournament slowed down a little bit as only 2 people would play at a time, and of course, I'm still near the end of the tournament bracket. But for the next round, I played against someone who decided to use a Mario Amiibo. This match took place on Luigi's Mansion, and at this point, because so many people were watching the tournament, there were actually different people in the crowd that were reacting to everybody's actions. Ultimately, my Lucario Amiibo and I were the victors, but it was definitely the most challenging match we've had so far. Okay, so now I'm into the quarterfinals, the top 8. From here, I was forced to play against a Toon Link Amiibo, and we were forced to play on Yoshi's Island. In addition to playing against the Toon Link Amiibo, the player himself also decided to use Toon Link. And I decided to team up with my Lucario Amiibo by using Rosalina and Luma. It was definitely an interesting match, but unfortunately, I was eliminated. A great opponent, he won fair and square, and I rooted for him in the next match. So from there, it was the semifinals, and that's when Nintendo finally decided to live stream it. Unfortunately, the Toon Link player lost, and the ultimate victors were, spoiler alert, Mario and Mario. The winner used a Mario Amiibo, and that actually made me really happy. Something so simple was victorious. So that was the result of the tournament. What was also pretty cool was that the champion of the tournament and I met while we were in line, and so we would cheer each other on. So I'm glad that he won. Apparently, a majority of the people in the tournament actually knew who I was too, so that was also pretty interesting. From there, I went home, and I had a very, very pretty ride home, right by the beach next to a sunset. It was awesome. There were screaming children for the first 10 minutes of it, but thankfully they got off soon, and I could enjoy the rest of my train ride. It was a nice train ride home, but after the train ride, I had a bit of a stressful time actually getting to my home, but that's a separate story. I had a fun time at the Nintendo Lounge. The Nintendo Lounge was very, very cool, and I'd like to thank Nintendo for actually allowing that to be open to the public. I had fun, I took pictures, I hope everyone else had a great time, and I got to meet all sorts of people. Well, guys, Comic-Con's not over, but my time at Comic-Con is over, and I would like to thank you all for watching. I hope this video was entertaining. I hope you guys liked seeing this guy in action. If you could, I don't know, I haven't seen the footage yet, but hopefully everything worked out well. I'm sorry if my new haircut is hideous. I'll grow it back one day, I promise. And for now, I guess I'll just end the video. So that wraps up this vlog of myself at the Nintendo Lounge, I guess. And I'd like to thank you all for watching. See you all in future videos. Bye-bye, humans! Actually, I'd like to thank all sorts of people that competed in the tournament, too. I saw all sorts of different Amiibo and all sorts of different strategies conveyed. It was actually really, really cool. And I'm thankful Nintendo even bothered to put the tournament up, because I had a lot of fun in that as well. So thank you, Nintendo, for the Amiibo tournament, and thank you to everyone else that participated. So all in all, I hope that this recap video was enjoyable, and I hope that I was able to get my points across of the tournament and the lounge and all that good stuff. So that wraps up this recap vlog video, and I'd like to thank you all for watching. See you all in future videos. Bye-bye, humans!